The following is a production of The Reporter, Delaware County's leading news source.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order and recognize any guests. As part of board policy, we allow the first 15 minutes for questions which may need to be addressed by anybody who's in the audience there. After that time, we take no other questions. So, Mike, you want to identify yourself?
Okay, Mike Tisco, 124 River Street. I was just come up to see if there was any information on the development of the green plans. I was just interested because I border on Route 8 and I'm on the west side of where the culverts are gonna be. That's what I was interested in.
Yeah, we will be addressing some of that tonight. I mean, I can give you, I guess I can give you an update now. What's happening is it's probably pushed out. We were hoping to start that in April, May. Now it looks like it's gonna be more June and July. What we're going to do is get our people who are involved in this down and have a public meeting. So,
Somebody's trying to get in.
Is our door locked?
It shouldn't be.
oh, it's probably Jonathan. So what we're gonna do is have a public meeting so that you can ask questions to, we have consultants, police alliances, and we have River Street Planning who are coordinating all this for us. So we'll bring those down and have a meeting,
Okay.
okay?
Thank you.
Because we have a major, we're putting 5 culverts in underneath Route 8, and then we're gonna be doing a lot of what I call landscaping on the other side of your property, on the, that would be what, the west, east side. You're on the east side?
I'm on the west side.
On the east side.
West side, yeah, so the east side.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. Need approval of the minutes from the December 18th meeting?
I just have one change. It's in there, it says Trustee McPherson stated the village police department purchased the cameras. It was the village court
Okay,
that purchased them, not the police department.
thank you.
No problem.
Okay, a motion to adopt the minutes from December 18th, 2022 with the one correction.
I'll second that.
Motion by trustee Baker, second by trustee McPherson. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Just comment again, we have elections in March. Petitions are still able to be picked up. They have to be in by February 14th. We have 2 trustee positions and 1 mayor position. That's open. So if you know anybody, let them know that there's still open time for that. Okay, going to committee reports. Finance clerk treasurer, Lisa.
Okay.
I can speak on the first one, the bond resolution, Green Plain, we're going to table tonight. I had a question on some of the language in that bond proposal, and we're going to get a clarification on that language to better explain how those funds are gonna be appropriated. So, because we're pushing that Green Plain out to June or July, we do have time. We will have this at the meeting, our second meeting, the 23rd of January. Yeah, one other point is I am going in for knee replacement surgery tomorrow, so I'm going to be out of service for about a week to 2 weeks. And Deputy Mayor Tartaglia will cover for me. And anybody else if we need you, I hope. Okay, Lisa?
Okay, we advertised for the deputy clerk position and indeed we received some applications. I forwarded or made copies and gave 3 or 4 to the personnel committee of Ray and Pat, and they're gonna let me know on their availability. We're gonna set up interviews to interview those people. And then hopefully by the next board meeting, we can.
And I did set some interviews up, but I have to confirm with you if the times and days work.
Okay,
We'll do that afterwards, I figured.
okay. Today, we received the resignation of airport manager Ed Orzoli, dated today. This letter represents my official resignation from the title of acting airport manager with the Sidney Municipal Airport. I respectfully announce my 2 weeks' notice ending on the 23rd day of January 2023. It has been with great pleasure to be alongside the individuals I had the opportunity to work with, and will always appreciate the experience and knowledge gained during my time here. I hope 2 weeks is enough for you to find a replacement. Furthermore, please let me know of any help that I could be to train or assist the person that will take over my position. Sincerely, Ed Orzoli. So,
Okay, I need a motion to accept his resignation.
I'll make a motion to accept with regret the letter of resignation of Edward Arizoli as airport manager.
Motion by trustee Cristelli, do I have a second?
Second.
Second trustee Baker. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
I'd just like to comment on that, Mayor. In the short period of time that Ed was with us, I think he caught on to everything that was brought to him very well, very quickly, and he's done a tremendous job with us. I'm very sorry to see him go, but he has personal reasons for leaving, and I respect that. So, and again, with regret, on behalf of Ed, I'm sorry to see him go.
Thank you. And again, I certainly agree with that presentation that you made. He has done a nice job in a short period of time, so. Okay, next.
okay, so with the resignation of Ed, I would like permission to advertise for a part-time airport manager.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by trustee Tartaglia, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second trustee Cristelli. Are we going to put a time limit on this that we advertise, that they have to be in by a certain time, or?
We can do a week. I mean, we're never gonna get everything done by the 2 weeks of, by the time Ed leaves, but I would like to, possibly, have, the other one,
Charlie?
Charlie kind of work the days that Ed does to kind of get, possibly switch and have him work with Ed,
Will
to
you
be able
willing
to
do that?
gain as
He's
much
willing to
knowledge
do
as
that, yeah.
possible.
You probably know Charlie took his test last week and passed it.
Right.
Good.
Yeah. I know they were working on it, Friday,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that says a lot for our airport personnel. So, and I'll be talking with Charlie, see what he would like to do in the interim.
So how many days does Charlie work up there?
He was working, what was happening, Mayor, is he was working 3 days as well as, Ed. But what they would do is on Wednesdays, they would both work, okay? And, they also covered, like, days Charlie, would miss time, Ed would pick it up and vice versa. And, so it worked out well. They were a great team. So
So are we gonna see if Charlie can work 5 days? Is that what you're gonna look at?
That's
or-
kinda, that's Vic's and Barry's thing, I think Charlie will, I would think like 5 days a week, 4 hours a day or something, or 5 hours a day, but that's their
Yeah.
committee, but that's,
Okay,
I know Charlie will do it, but that's up to Vic and Barry.
Right.
I mean, I just would really like him to get some hands-on with the Fuel Master program.
Yep.
And like I said, somebody, myself, probably, with what Michelle's doing right now, go up there and learn the Fuel Master, system myself. That way, when the new person comes on, if they aren't familiar with the Fuel Master system, we'll still have everything we need for billing and the, quarterly reports.
If we put an ad in the paper, if we use like January 27th, that's maybe you could do the 20th, but I mean, today's already the 9th.
Right.
By the time you get it in the paper, that 1 week is so, it just flies.
Last time, honestly, I think I had better success on Indeed than the paper, but
And you could do it that
there's
way.
a cost
You
to
could
it,
put it
but
up,
I mean.
there is a
I
cost,
mean,
There is, yeah.
but you could get it up on Indeed tomorrow.
Right,
Yeah, you could.
And you could, then the 20th doesn't seem crazy, it's a week and a half that it's open. That seems like doable. The newspaper, there would be a lag, so it would take longer.
Okay, so do we wanna put in the 20th? You wanna put a date in there, or you wanna leave the motion as it is and just,
how about a week from the date that it hits the advertisement? That way, you know, if it doesn't happen tomorrow, I mean, we'll try, but like I said, you know,
okay. So we'll leave the motion as it is and just
okay,
leave it up to you as the amount of time we'll advertise that.
okay.
Okay, so I had a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, Mayor, you already did the
Yeah,
Green Plain
Green
project.
Plain I
info,
updated.
And you all have the grants manager report.
You can see we're very active in that department, and Chris also presented our payment structure of scheduling those grants, which is something that we haven't gotten in a while, so I think this is very, very helpful.
Just like, in her report, she mentions that, you know, we were awarded a 700,000 grant from the New York State Department, DOS, for, the local waterfront revitalization program. She submitted reimbursements for the water system improvement project, and we're hoping a quick turnaround on those. We finally, in this abstract, we paid the money owed to JBS Dirt now that they've settled their legal dispute with Cobblestone Stone. And, that's pretty much what she has in her report. You all, got the, email from Jason regarding the JAT construction, payment number 3 for $93,632. Jason has worked very hard to coincide these with our board meetings, hoping that there's a 2-week turnaround in the payment. So it's funded by a grant, so we pay the $93,632, and within 2 weeks, we get the turnaround of the grant. So if we can pass it tonight and we can scan it in and send it up to him, he'll get it in there for, processing, so.
Okay, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve payment to JAT Construction for the application number 3 in the amount of $93,632.
Motion by trustee McPherson, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by trustee Cristelli. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, everybody has the report from the police chief on their Dropbox. That seems to be working out well. I give all the department heads the choice of, the mayor requested, department head reports, and they can either do it the first board meeting of the month or the second board meeting of the month, so the police chief and the grants manager submitted their report this month.
If you have any questions, just ask, chief.
We had the email from the police chief regarding the mobile radio upgrade. I believe everybody responded, on the email to the good news that the chief was able to share with us.
I did speak to the chief this afternoon on these radios. One of the concerns is Shenango County's providing those radios to us. The cost is about $5,000.
Otsego County.
Oh, Otsego County, I'm sorry. Is supplying those radios to us. The question is, what commitment are we making to them as far as coverage that we have to do? The chief at this time said there's no commitment. It's going to be on an emergency type of basis if we're needed. What was happening before is we didn't have their emergency numbers, I believe, whatever you
Emergency
call them.
channels, right, we couldn't talk to them.
So when emergency like that was sent out, we don't pick it up. Now we're gonna get that so we can respond to them if there is a emergency in Unadilla or in surrounding areas, which there was one a couple weeks ago, and we were not aware of it, and unfortunately, there was a very lax response to that situation.
Along those same lines, Mayor, question that, arises, and maybe I should address the fire department trustees first. When we go out on a mutual aid call to another municipality, how does that work with the liability or if something goes wrong from the village's point of view?
As long as we're toned out, like, if, so Unadilla had a fire, we can't just go. But if Unadilla tones us mutual aid, which they do,
Can request us.
then it's covered under mutual aid agreement, their insurance has to cover it. It'd be the same with the police department. If the state police or the county sheriffs called them and we had an accident on the way there, their insurance would have to cover our loss.
Okay, perfect.
Good.
Good, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Shift coverage, I did talk to the chief today, and he also, we've shared with his committee that they are looking at filling a lot of these hours with the regular staff. We were running into a lot of overtime hours in the last pay period. We were able to knock those overtime hours, I believe, down to 18 hours versus what we were dealing with prior to that, and we're gonna try to continue to do that versus looking at other options which we had on the table. Vic or Ray, did you wanna add anything?
That about sums it up. He's worked very hard to.
Yes, he has, and I think the last one that he showed was only 11 hours of overtime that he's got on for this past month.
That's
So
very good.
that's fantastic.
Okay,
Okay, we have an application to join the Sidney Fire Department from Jeffrey T. Jones, submitted by the Fire Chief Gilmore. They've reviewed his application. Obviously, they interviewed him and did their background checks, and he has a background checks have been completed and returned in the positive. So he is respectfully requesting that this name be approved by the village board this evening.
I need a motion.
I'll make a motion, the application of Jeffrey T. Jones for membership in the Sidney Fire Department be accepted as presented by the Village Fire Department.
Motion by trustee McPherson, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second, trustee Cristelli. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Fire update, Mayor?
Yeah, John Payne has started to work over there. And one of the nice things is he can actually do a lot of the work from the blacktop versus going on the grass and damaging a lot of the lawn with the truck that he brought in there. It's making it a lot easier and less damage to our grass, et cetera there. So that's very nice. And the weather's allowed him to move forward with that. So. The water project, we're in the process. We just completed drilling underneath the Unadilla River and underneath the Susquehanna. Did anybody see them use that particular?
No.
I had good intentions. I didn't realize the date they were gonna be there, but I'm sure it was impressive.
So we're still working with that. We're in the process of laying the pipe to get to where we have to go. And staffing in the wastewater treatment plant, Lisa, you wanna go over that?
Yes, so, Mike Lapp got cleared to come back the 27th of December, and, Friday, we received a note from PMA and, Brett French's, physician saying that he could come back, light duty, desk paperwork, computer work only, so he is going to return to the wastewater treatment plant on Wednesday, the 11th. So we'll be back to, 3 employees in the wastewater treatment plant. Chief Operator Norberg is happy, he said they've got lots of paperwork to do, so he was fine with that. So,
Just to add to that, and many thanks to Toby Umbra, who filled in occasionally in the absence of Brett and Mike Lab, and that was very helpful to us. Toby being from the Department of Public Works, so he had experience in that field, so he was a great help to us.
I second that, Trustee Tartaglia, when he was asked, he stepped right up and it wasn't even a question, and he, had to work during Christmas and other times that were less desirable, and he was totally fine with that.
Right, he had all the certification to do
Yes.
that. He goes to school
And he
once a year.
continued to do work overtime for the DPW too, he flapped back and forth between both places whenever he was needed.
Anything else on Public Works? Recreation?
Recreation. We had one resignation today, we're gonna get another one. I was talking to Amy, our rec director, today. She's going to step down. We don't have a firm date yet. She's willing to work with the village until we hire a new rec director and train that person as much as necessary. I really, at this point, I prefer not to have a date thrown out because we don't know what we're up against as far as hiring another rec director. So she's okay with that. Obviously, she doesn't want it to extend too far into the spring, but she's willing to work with the village on that. So another bit of bad news, but she also has been a great employee for us, and you really don't have to get too involved with her. She takes the bull by the horns and does her thing, and without too much issue from anyone. So I thank Amy for being our rec director for the time she has been.
She really stepped up for us.
Yeah.
When we had a lull,
Yeah.
we really
Yes,
needed help.
yes.
Has the rec board been meeting at all?
We haven't had a meeting since probably summertime there,
Oh, wow.
right? Of course, now we're in a dormant period with not too much going on. She will, with the softball and baseball programs coming up in the spring, she will start forwarding the information to the school so they can release the applications to the students, players.
Okay, thanks, Trustee Tartaglia. Okay, any other business? Okay, let's pay our bills. Who audited the bills?
I did. I'd like to make a motion authorizing the treasurer to pay abstract 12 dated January 9th, 2023 from the following funds. General, $67,993.50. Water, $19,779.93. Sewer, $19,743.27. Community Development, $1,122. T&A, $6,092.09. And the capital, $116,436.39, for a total of $231,167.18.
Okay, motion, excuse me, motion by trustee Baker, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second trustee Christelli, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We have to go into executive session, briefly on, court personnel. So I need a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Motion by trustee Tartaglia, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second trustee McPherson.
7:28.
Do you have any expectation that you will be taking any action after executive session?
We should not be taking any action after executive session. I anticipate we'll be in executive session for 15 minutes or less.
Thank you.
To subscribe or advertise, call 607-464-4009.